No time to waste in needless debate. Glen sped to his farm, swept along an alarm, repeating the warning of the boy beside the lake. And with every step and with every breath, he pledged he would not lay open his heart to death. And anyway, should death come calling, would Glen not surely know him? For death was no stranger. He had called once before, and not left empty-handed. He had come with such stealth. Glen had just washed away the earth from hands that had buried his stillborn first, and returned to his dear Molly's fevered side to mop her brow, when a strange wind blew, half howl, half sigh, and rattled the bedroom window frame. At that very same time, a rap, rap, rap downstairs said the doctor at last had come. As Glen rose from Molly's side, she grabbed his hand to keep him a while, and he saw in her eyes a calmness of heart he took for relief at the doctor's arrival, and she parted her lips, but she did not speak, then released him to let the visitor inside. When Glen returned with the doctor, Molly was smiling and was dead. The gate lay open. The earth lay quiet beneath a still, birdless sky. A frost had set on the path that led to Glen's front door, which hung ajar. Inside, the hungry child wept by a steaming kettle, and smiling she pointed her finger and said, "She is come." And by the window there stood an angel, if ever was one, her skin pale as ossuary bone, her hair spun from silver shone like a halo, her white silk gown glowed as if woven from threads of the moon. She seemed ageless, as in eternally young.
"I have come,"
she said,
"to release you from your sorrows. The word of your kindness,"
she glanced at the child,
"has travelled far and wide, and my gift is your just reward. See how pestilence abates at my word, and see how the pantry, this morning so empty, now satisfies your every need. For by my word, from hunger shall you forever be freed."
"And what," Glen asked, "do you want from me?"
"Such a paltry thing,"
and at this she smiled,
"to never again be hungry or weary. Just open your heart and let me inside."
But Glen smelled new-dug earth on her breath, and saw spiders spinning the silk of her dress, and he cried, "You are death!" "You are death!" he cried, and as when an actor removes his mask, the imposter Death was stripped of disguise. A spectral apparition lay before Glen's eyes, genderless, inhuman, a schism
in the narratives of space and time. A most abominable manifestation, as disgusting to the mind as can be borne no longer than to deny it being. It guttered and was gone.
At once, all was light where moments before a flame of infinite darkness had burned, and Glen fell to his knees in gratitude, wept tears of joy, and uttered a prayer of grace for the Reedy Boy, whose warning most surely had shown him the impostor Death's true face. And then Glen thought, if Death was an impostor? And he turned to the hungry child, who leapt back, her eyes wide with the terror of being recognised. "You are Hunger," Glen cried, and swept her from his home upon the end of a broom. He drove her into the hay barn, where lay the swaddled crone upon a stack of writhing, fetid straw, watching him come with fly-blown eyes. "So," said the crone, "you think you've done with Death, brushed Hunger aside? Well, don't imagine you can so easily banish me. See how the very ground heaves with my progeny. While my brood survives, be sure to set a place at table for sweet Hunger here. And when exhausted by your labours, you are blessed with a knock in the night to open your heart to merciful Death." The child ran to the crone's embrace, and both turned upon Glen their defiant gaze. Rapiers of light knifed the barn's teeming air, plunged in between its gapped timber beams, as if, outside, some avenging saviour despised the darkness and would run it through. Maggots squirmed, blowflies coruscated blue. The crone and the child drew closer together as Glen, in a flash, saw what he'd to do. Barns can be rebuilt, crops resown, yes, from the ashes of wildfires, whole forests renew. So let this haystack become a funeral pyre. Glen backed away slowly towards the door, closed it and fastened a padlock and chain, then baptised the barn with paraffin and watched as it was engulfed in flames, rejoicing in the child and the old crone's screams. It burned for 3 nights and 3 days. On the 4th morning, only ashes remained, and these Glen sowed upon his land, and he vowed never again to idle, and careful husbandry to employ, and he vowed, in the spring, to repay his debt to the Reedy Boy. From the window where death had once entered and stolen his Molly away, Glen saw the snow enfold his land, outshining the moon with its violet silence, till the tides of night went out and frost lay scarlet under each new dawn. Then one morning there came a dew of the utmost delicate green, first sign of revival, first sign of the coming of spring. With a dutiful heart, Glen decided to go that morning to visit the Reedy Boy. For though what portion Glen deemed the boy was owed had shrunk in the darkness, melted with the snows, a vow remained sacred and must be observed. Again the birds sang of leisure, but Glen saw now where laxity led, and intended to put off no chore that could be done today. He paused at the split ash gate, only to swear that on his return he'd make repairs, replace the loose and rotten pickets, wire brush and oil the rusted hinges. Then off he set down the leafy lane, through mottled shade of white beam and birch, down the unworn path, beyond the parish's reach to the windless pool, whose other shore was obscured by a cloak of swirling mist, from beyond which the Reedy Boy spoke.
Is that Glen Fenny,
It is,
who's seen death's face?
and lived.
You did not open your heart.
I kept it sealed, for I paid your prudent counsel heed.
My counsel you paid. What pay you me?
My life, if I could, I would lay at your feet. And through the mist there opened a gap to the other shore. But it wasn't the Reedy Boy who Glen saw there, but Molly. Long this corridor Glen was borne, tripping over lily pads, overcome with joy at the gift of rejoining she who had died, until he saw how pitifully she wept, and in her sweet but broken voice she cried,
Go back, Glen Fenny. Go back.
Alas, the image of Molly sank quickly beneath reality's veneer, and Glen stood alone upon the bank, not so much as a rag upon his back.
What has happened to me?
He cried, whereupon the curtain of mist arose to reveal upon the opposite bank the boy now dressed in Glen's own clothes.
The curse on me is lifted,
the boy replied, and now upon you its burden lies. Glen gazed down at his naked toes and began to count they all were there. Unsatisfied, he began to count them again. As season follow seasons, you shall remain here on this bank, unable to speak but in riddles, until one day a stranger gives you his name and confesses he owes you his very life. For then you may take what is owed, as now I take yours for my own.
Oh, what utter joy to know not I but you the Reedy Boy. Oh, what utter joy to know not I but you the Reedy Boy.
Oh, what utter joy to know not I, but you are the Reedy Boy.
Oh, what utter joy to know not I, but you are the Reedy Boy. Oh, what utter joy to know not I, but you are the Reedy Boy. Oh, what utter joy to know not I, but you are the Reedy Boy. Oh, what utter joy to know not I, but you are the Reedy Boy. Oh, what utter joy to know not I, but you are the Reedy Boy.
And so one who goes by the name of Fenny set out unannounced upon a journey long ago interrupted, taking nothing of Glen's but his freedom, leaving Glen alone and a house apart, both now forgotten by many.